for today, we're going to go ahead and use the revolve tool again, and we're going to make the base of the pencil holder. So let's start with a sketch on this front face. As always, I'm going to draw out the center line, and then I'll show you how to make the side profile. You'll see here I've made two lines. I'm going to use these to define the dimensions of the cup. And this perpendicular constraint shows that they're both going to be horizontal, since this line is vertical. And the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and use the spline to draw whatever kind of rounded shape I'd like. How you make the shape is completely up to you. One of the cons of using the splines is that it's quite hard to dimension. So for this project, if you're using it, it'll probably be something that just you manufacture, since if you want to pass it on, you'd have to set all of the dimensions. This looks pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this shape, and I'm going to finish the sketch. Next, to make it 3D, I'm going to go ahead and revolve it around the center axis. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the shell tool on the top face. And in this case, we know we want it to be hollow so it can hold our pencils. However, we're going to be doing an emboss. We're going to be using that tool to make a pattern. And if you plan on cutting into the cup, you'll want to make the wall thickness a bit greater than our usual minimum of 2.5. Let's make it 4 this time. Okay, so now that I have my base pencil holder ready, I'm going to go ahead and create a construction plane so we can start drawing our pattern. I'm just going to click offset plane. I'll choose this one. It doesn't really matter which one you do as long as it's facing the holder like this. And I'll click OK. And now I'm going to go ahead and draw a sketch loosely over the pencil holder, and if you want, you can draw it to the side and I'll show you how to move it in a second. For my shape, I just want a very basic star, but you can go ahead and draw any shape you'd like. And it doesn't have to be perfect, and in this case, since we're just working on using the emboss tool for our own purposes, you also don't have to go ahead and dimension it, although it is good practice to keep doing that. Okay, so now that you have your base shape made, I'm going to show you how to copy it. So you can drag from the right to the left to select it, and then do Command C, and click somewhere else, and then do Command V. This will allow us to make an exact copy of our shape, which we can just drop down and enter. If you can't do Command C or Command V or Control, you can also look for the Move tool, and it's in the Modify section and it's here. This will let you copy. I'm just going to go ahead and change the dimensions of the second one a little bit. And again, you can select all of the pieces, and you can also do M for move. That'll get you the same tool, and you can just go ahead and freely move it. Once I have a design that I like, I'm going to go ahead and select all of it, click M again for move, and just to make it easier when we emboss, I'm going to slightly place it over the cup. Then I'm going to finish sketch. Now with these sketches, I'm going to go ahead and go to the Create section, and we're going to learn how to use the emboss. So this is the emboss tool. We're going to need to click our sketch profiles, and then also click the face that we want to cut into. Now you'll see already I have the depth step and I have the effect, so you can either extrude it outwards like this, or you can cut it in. I chose that thicker wall thickness earlier, so that means I can cut it about like 1.5, but you can also go up to -2, and that should be fine if you choose the same wall thickness of 4. Otherwise, feel free to extrude it outwards. And you can also use these settings to change the alignment slightly, but depending on your design, it might be a little bit hard to compute, meaning it'll kind of load for a while. So I suggest dragging your sketch to be over the cup when you're drawing it at the end. This looks pretty good for me. Remember, you can also rotate it if you'd like, but I'm just gonna go ahead and select OK. And there we have it. We have our very own emboss. So now that we have our basic pencil holder, if you decide that you want more embosses, I'll show you how to do that with this circular pattern tool. We'll go to Create, go to Pattern and select Circular Pattern. Then we're going to have the object type be Features, and we're going to go ahead and select this emboss. Next, we're going to select our axis. So I'm going to select this blue one, and that'll show you how to revolve it around. So this gets it 3 times. This looks quite good to me, but if you'd like a different kind of pattern, or if you want to repeat it, you can either use the pattern tool which we learned how to use in the sketch, or you can do it after you've embossed. So these are just 2 options to repeat your pattern. I'm going to click OK, and you see we have our very own pencil holder. To give you some ideas, I've gone ahead and made 3 cups. This center one is the one we made together, and you'll notice I filleted some of the edges in the sketch. On the left here, I did an example with the emboss being used to extrude outwards, and on the right I did a full cut. Feel free to use the patterns to experiment as you like, and try making your own shapes.